Hey, it's Anthony. I've got a different kind of video for you guys today. This is a tutorial video on counting stars by OneRepublic. Thanks from Mr. Ryan13, who actually commented on this video around 6 PM in the afternoon. And here we are, around 6 hours later, and the time is 10 past 12. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's 10 past 12 at midnight. So here we are 6 hours later, and I hope that just really shows the motivation and the dedication that I've got for you guys. And if it makes you guys satisfied and happy, I'll carry on going. And without further ado, leave a like, subscribe, comment down below, and let's jump straight into the tutorial. So before the actual tutorial starts, I like to map out the whole song as it gives us a really good guideline on where everything is. So first it goes intro, into verse 1, into verse 2, chorus build up, main chorus, breakdown, final chorus, and then outro. So this is what the intro sounds like to Counting Stars by OneRepublic. Okay, all that is the 9th fret on the A string, pick to the 11th fret on the A string, move over to the 9th fret on the D string, go back to the 11th fret on the A string, down to the 9th fret on the A string, and then back to 11th fret on the A string. So all together it should sound like this. And you got this bit. After the 11th fret on the A string, go back down to the 9th fret on the A, go down to the 7th fret on the A, and then slide up to the 11th fret on the A. So all together should sound like this. Which leads us into this. Pluck twice on the 9th fret on the A, and then 11th on the A, slide up to 12th on the A, back down to 11th, to 9th, 7th, back to 11, and then got the 9th on the E, then to the 7th on the A. So that should sound like. And then after that, it just repeats the first bit, so it goes back to the. So in total, that does that 2 times. So in total, it should sound like this. Okay, and now this is the last part. It should sound like this. Okay, so that is the 9th on the A, twice. Go to 11th, 12th, 11th, and then it's the 9th of the A. to 7th, 9th, back down, 11th, then back down to 9th, then to 9th of the E, and then 7th of the A. So then it goes 7 on the A, and then 9th on the E, and then 9 on the A, slide to 11, then back down to 9th on the A, and then 9th on the E, 7th on the A, and you could do a slide, or you could just pick it. It's personal preference, but I slide down. So altogether, the intro again should sound like this. After the intro, then it leads on to the verse 1, which sounds like this. And all that is, it's really just on 2 strings, which is the B and the E, the high E, which is, so that is a slide to the 9th of the B, to the 7th of the E, and then 9th on the B to the 7th of the B. And it kind of just repeats itself. And for a final note, you can slide it, or you can bend it. And it does that twice, and that's the end of verse 1. And this is what verse 2 would sound like. Okay, all that is the 11th of the A, and it's just repeating itself, and it's following along with the lyrics. So it's a... and then it'll go... slide to 11, 9th of the A, 7th of the A, and then 9th of the E, slide back up to 11th of the A, so, and then back down to 9th of the A, 7th of the A, and hammer back on to 9th of the A. So that part will sound like this. And then after that bit, you want to do that bit again. So it does that final bit twice. So altogether it will be a... and it does that twice. This is what the chorus build-up will sound like. Okay, all that is, do you want to start on the, is the 11th of the D, tap that twice, and then the 9th of the G to the 9th of the E. And then after that, you want to go to the 12th of the B, and then 11th of the G, 9th of the G, back up to the 11th of the G, then go to the 9th of the B, and then you've got this, which is 8th of the G, 11th of the D, pluck the 8th of the G, hammer on to 9th of the G, you could pull off or you could pick it, it's personal preference, I just pick it. You pick or pull off to the 8th of the G, and then you go back down to the 11th of the D. So it should sound like this. And do that twice. And then you got this little build up. Okay, so that is the 11th of the D, and then to the 9th of the D, and then back down to the 11th of the D. So just repeat yourself. Slide down, and then you got this. Which is the 11th of the D, down to the 9th of the D, and then 9th to the A, and then 7th to the A. Pick the 9th of the A again, slide down to the 11th of the A, back down to 9th of the A, 7th to the A, and last bit is the 9th of the low E string, 7th of the low E string, and slide back up to the 9th of the low E string. So all together, just sound like this. And then we've got the main chorus, which sound like this. Okay, so that is the 11th fret on the G, 9th fret of the B, 12th fret of the B, back down to the 9th fret of the B, and then the 7th fret of the B, 9th fret of the B, back down to 7, and then the 9th fret of the G, and then you could slide to the 9th fret on the B, starting at 7th fret of the B, so 7th fret of the B, slide up to the 9th fret of the B. And then you've got the 11th fret of the G, plug that twice, and then move over to the 9th fret of the B, and then to the 10th fret of the B, back down to the 9th of the B, and then 11th of the B, and then to the 9th of the B. Oh, sorry. 11th of the G, and then back down to the 9th of the G. And then you go back to the 9th of the B, 11th of the D, and then back down to the 9th of the G, and that does that twice, but there is a little variation. So all this is the same. I'm gonna play the bits that all the same, and then I'm gonna stop on where it verifies. So all that bit was the same, but this is the variation. And that is 11th fret on the D, plug that twice, and then 9th fret of the B to the 10th fret of the B, back down to 9, and then 11th fret of the G to 9th fret of the G. So and then back, and then to the 9th of the B, and then 11th fret of the G, plug that twice, 11th fret of the D, and then 9th fret of the G. So the whole chorus should sound like this. And then it does the same part, the part 1 of the intro again. So it does this bit again. So it does that bit again, but for the final part it does another variation. It goes, which that is the 9th fret of the B, and then go to 11th fret of the G, unplug the 11th fret of the G twice, and then slide down to the 6th fret of the G, which then that leads us to the breakdown. And this is the breakdown, and this is what it should sound like. Okay, now the breakdown is actually the exact same as verse 1. If you don't want to go through verse 1 again, the chapters are down below on the timeline, so just skip to there. If you want me to go through it again, then stay with me. Okay, so we're going to go to the 11th fret of the A here, and just follow along that note, and kind of follow along with what he sings. So it's a... So you want to follow what he's singing, because that's the whole point of it. I'm trying to teach you the singing, not the chords, because chords are boring, let's be honest, okay? So we're doing the singing, which makes it a lot more interesting, more fun. So just follow along with the singing on what he sings. Okay, and then you want to slide to 11th. 11th, down to 9, down to 7, all on the A. And then you go down to the 9th of the E, the low E. And then once you're at the E, slide back up to 11th of the A. And then go down to 9th of the A. And then to the 7th of the A, and then hammer back on to the 9th of the A. So it should sound like this. And then do that twice, consistent, back to back. So in total, it should sound like this. Now it does what I just played twice, and then that leads on to the final build-up. This is the final build-up, and this is what it should sound like. The final build-up is exactly the same as the chorus build-up. The only difference is the actual build up. If you remember it, I told you guys that I did it twice. I'll show you what I mean right now. So normally in the original chorus build-up it does that twice, but for the final breakup it only does that once. So that's the only difference it does. The rest is exactly the same. So I'm going to play it for you one more time. Which leads on to the final chorus. And this is what the outro should sound like. Okay, so this is the final outro. So what we got here, we've got a 9th of the D string, hammer onto the 11th of the D string, and you'll do that twice. So it's a, and then pluck twice on the 9th fret of the G string. Go back down to the 11th fret of the D string, and then do the same 2 hammer-ons again. And then you jump up to the 11th fret of the G string, and then pluck that twice. And then back down to the 9th fret on the G string. So all together. And it does that twice, and then moves on to this bit. Exact same bit for the build up, but it's got a slight twist to it. On that note, it holds it until it kicks back again, and the same. And after that, it jumps straight in back to the chorus again, which is the same. Which is the same again, but then after the chorus, and then it goes back into the start of the outro, is the one that I just taught you, the. And I'll play the whole outro again once more. Well, guys, would you look at the time now? 1:38. So it's taken me over an hour to record this for you guys. Got any questions? Please let me down in the comments. I'll try my best to answer it. Subscribe, leave a like, comment down below what song you'd like me to do next. It could be in another tutorials video. I really do not mind. I need to get some sleep, so good night.